Hey everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at how the Hollywood Destination E bike rack fits on the 2022 Tesla Model Y. So the Destination E is designed for your heavy electric bikes. So most bike racks are limited to about 60-pound weight capacity if they're designed for electric bikes. This one has a 70-pound per bike weight capacity, plus it has an included ramp to help you out. Now, unfortunately, the ramp is not stored on the rack. You're going to have to store it inside of your car, so don't forget about it or leave it at home. Now, we're going to focus on our Tesla Model Y and how this bike rack fits with it. If you want a full look at the Destination E features, check out our full product review video here at etrailer.com. So, one of the features this has is it can tilt away. It has a unique way of doing it. You can check that out in the demo, but it involves this knob here. Once it's used, you push that out, and this gives you time to prepare yourself. When you have those heavier bikes, you can use your Tesla as a brace as you push out, and then this tilts down really far. So this gives you a lot more room to grab whatever you need inside of your car. So whether it's your helmets, your bags, maybe you're switching out your shoes here, you can do so without taking your heavy bikes off. And that's good because, honestly, this is a little hassle when it comes to loading and unloading your bikes. It has all forms of securing the bikes, making sure everything is nice and tight and secure. So that's great because then you know your bikes are safe. The downside is it's going to take a little bit of time, but I'll guide you through that process real quick. So you have 1, 2, 3 wheel straps. So 2 in the front wheel, 1 in the rear wheel. When you want to take your bike off, I start at the straps, and there's actually a lot of space here that you can go behind the bike rack in order to access those straps. So when you have 2 bikes loaded up, then you know you're not reaching between each of those bikes to get access to them. So see how our third is a chock for the front, and then you have your normal wheel straps for the insides. Well, now that we have our wheel straps off, let's set up our ramp. So see how the ramp is not stored on the rack? We have it inside of the vehicle, plus this can only be mounted to the rear tire side of your bike. So loosen this, super loose all the way out. Bring this in, and it clips into place on your rack, just like that. So you can adjust the length of the ramp, helpful because we don't have that much space between our vehicle and the wall. Once that ramp is all set up, we're then going to loosen the frame mount. This is actually a locking frame mount, so you can make sure that your bikes are secured without having to use a bulky cable lock. With that out of the way, I'm going to twist our bike back to avoid the pedals, and then we're going to bring this down. So when you have 70 pounds worth of bike, this can be helpful just for getting, so you don't have to lift the entire thing off of the bike rack, and now you're ready to hit the trails. Well, notice the shape of the Destination E. This is similar to Hollywood Rack's other Destination bike racks. So if you don't have as heavy of a bike, you can consider getting the Destination 4 or the Destination 2, which are very lightweight and compact. They have similar features where you have a U shape where it's shaped like wings, and that way no matter what your wheelbase is or your tire width, it helps adapt to it. The maximum tire width for this is going to be up to 4.5 inches. Something to remember for those fat bikes. I'm going to make this a little bit more compact. So there's straps, there's levers, they come down, and then they secure. You can see how this takes a little bit more time compared to other bike racks. They're a lot easier to use. If you don't have as heavy of a bike, let's say up to 60 pounds, I recommend taking a look at the Rocky Mounts guide rail as an alternative. That one's so much faster, but it doesn't have a ramp. So let's take some measurements. I'm going to measure first for the length it's going to add to the back of our car. That's from the bumper to the end of the cradles. That sits at 29 inches. That's how much space you're going to take up back and into your garage. If you're trying to park into a tight spot. If you have a bike on the end though, your handlebars might stick a little bit further out. Your ground clearance is going to be at some different points. End of the rack to the ground, about 15.25 inches. Center of the rack to the ground, about 20 inches. Compare that to a hitch receiver, which is around 10.5 inches off the ground. You have a bit of a shank rise, so it's not that high up. Now, some people can lift their bikes that height, and they may not need the ramp. Some cannot, and that's where the ramp will be helpful for you. But if you want to make this a bit more compact, what you can do is you can actually fold this up. So it has a pin and it has a clip. We're going to take that out and then lift the rack up against the vehicle. I know it looks like it comes close, but there's actually plenty of clearance there. So you just want to line up that hole so you can pop that pin and that clip right back in. Let's take some measurements again. So there's actually plenty of clearance. Measuring would be about 2.25 inches of clearance there. The length this now adds to the back of our vehicle is going to be around 11.75 inches, so almost 1 foot. Big difference compared to when it was folded down. This is also how you will have this bike rack stored inside of your garage. Now it is a larger bike rack, so it is kind of heavy and it takes up a little bit of space behind your vehicle. Notice how your taillights are still mainly visible. With this masked up, yes, it is at the bottom part of your window, but you'll still have full visibility through your window. It does have a little cutout here, right where your license plate is, so that's kind of fun. And also that's where your rear camera is, peeking out right through that hole. Of course, you do have that full view all around your vehicle, so no big deal, but it's still nice to see how that is open and visible. This fits right into your 2-inch hitch. You do have a pin and you have a lock. Then you have a unique way of ratcheting it down so that it's a solid anti-rattle there in your hitch receiver. That is key to the locks on your frame mounts, so that way both your bikes and your bike rack are secured with a key that matches. So all in all, you can see how the Destination E is really designed for those extra heavy electric bikes. If you have an extra heavy electric bike and the other racks aren't going to work for you in terms of weight capacity, or if you really need that ramp, this is going to be helpful. Downsides to this though is it takes a lot of time to get your bikes installed, and you are going to have to remember that before you're in a rush to get onto the trails or back from the trails. If you want something easier, it doesn't have as much weight capacity, but it is faster to use. I did mention the Rocky Mounts guide rail as an alternative. But other than that, this was a look at the bike rack for your extra heavy electric bikes, the Hollywood Rack's Destination E, and how it fits on the 2022 Tesla Model Y.